I love those metaphors that you just shared, Blaine, because I think they really anchor us into that idea because we've been talking, okay, grounded, 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 and now we're saying, but wait, you can be too grounded. And so that idea of balance, which of course is the whole goal of all of this energy work, is to bring the body into balance so that the body can do what it does naturally, what it is programmed to do, which is to heal. Welcome to the world of energy, where science meets spirit. Ancient wisdom merges with cutting-edge knowledge, and the possibilities for a healthier, happier you are endless. I'm Lauren Walker.
And I'm Blaine Wilkes. This is Energy Works, your portal into the incredible world of energy medicine. Whether you're a seasoned energy practitioner seeking to deepen your knowledge or someone new to the concept of energy medicine, this podcast was created for you. Together, we unravel the intricate threads of energy that weave through our lives, revealing practical insights, stories, and actionable tools you can start using right away.
Join us on this captivating journey through the world of energy right here and learn how energy works. Hey everybody, welcome to our new podcast, Energy Works. I'm your host, Lauren Walker.
And I'm Blaine Wilkes.
And this is our first episode ever. So welcome and thank you for joining us.
Yeah, this is fun. Lauren and I, of all the projects we've embarked on together, we were just laughing before we hit record. It feels a little bit like, oh my gosh, baby steps on this new thing. So thank you for being here and joining us for this journey that we're on.
And let's start with those baby steps and dive right in to how energy works, what energy works is all about, and how you can make energy work for you. And when we were thinking about what we wanted to share, the first thing we talked about, like, what are the most important components and ideas of energy? And so we decided to start with the most important things to know about energy. So we're going to start with baby steps. And the first thing, if you want to understand how to work with your energy, what that even means so that you can heal and thrive in your life, the first most important thing that you need to know what grounding is, what it isn't, and what it means for you. Because grounding has kind of come into the modern vernacular, and a lot of people have experience, maybe have heard about it before, or just know it from the idea of, like, I feel really ungrounded, even before that term scientifically came into our world. And so we just thought we'd talk a little bit about grounding.
Yeah, I think it's a great place to start because it is the foundation when you are trying to bring your energy into balance so you can heal. If you're ungrounded, it's going to be basically impossible. So, yeah, we thought this would be an awesome place to begin. And it's something that I personally practice all the time. And I also often find myself ungrounded.
I think a lot of us do feel that ungroundedness, but maybe let's just be really explicit about what that means. So I'll share first from my perspective what I feel like when I'm ungrounded is I feel this kind of sort of buzziness, like really staticky. I feel like I can't really hear what I want to be hearing internally, my directives in life. I just don't feel like I'm really clear. And I just feel like I can't focus. I'm just like, I'll walk from room to room, and what do I need to do? I have a whole work list, but I can't quite figure out where to begin. Or if I'm out in the world and I feel ungrounded, I literally will find myself like stumbling. I've noticed that before, like I'll be stumbling or I'll trip often, or I just won't feel really balanced. And so that's how it feels for me when I'm ungrounded. Those are kind of the cues that I feel that let me know, okay, Lauren, you have to get grounded here. How about you, Blaine? What is that like for you?
For me, I will tag on to what you just said about the physical signs. I drop things. I drop my keys or I drop my pen or if I'm dropping something, whenever I drop something, that is, I just know. So I almost want to say, oh, thank you, body, for sharing, making it so clear that you're not grounded. So that's my physical cue, like very direct physical cue. My more subtle physical cue is that I feel like my head is not attached. Like, one of the things I'm trying to bring in alignment all the time is that my mind and my body are doing the same thing at the same time. And when know, it takes a while to catch myself doing it, but my mind is off spinning in I'm a future thinker, so maybe thinking about the next day, thinking about what I need to do, trying to foresee any problems that might happen, make sure I know my schedule. I don't like my head is living in the future and my body is trying to accomplish something in the present. And it is this, I don't know, the emoji head exploding or head hanging on to your body by a string balloon sort of visual where the head's just off floating off doing one thing that is not exactly what I'm trying to accomplish at that moment. So that's what I notice when I'm ungrounded and know that I need to do something to fix that.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. All of those things. I like that. I like the dropping thing. That is very like, hey, there's a cue right there. Because one of the things that you're going to learn over the coming weeks on Energy Works is how your energy actually is communicating with you all the time. Because your energy wants to be balanced, it wants to be flowing in its most optimal directions, and it wants to heal and it wants to thrive. That's really the job, the goal, the gestalt of the energy in your body and in the fields that support your body. And so your energy's trying to get your attention and say like, "Hey dude, you are not grounded here." And then what happens when you're not grounded? So, it's really difficult to get things done because like Blaine was saying, she's future thinking or I'm the opposite. I'm past thinking, but I'm not in the present, which is where I need to be getting things done. And she's dropping things, I'm stumbling and tripping, so you can just kinda see, like, it's not an efficient way to operate. It's like everything's kind of falling off the rails, but yet you're trying to get to some destination, and even short of trying to get to some destination, you're trying to be in the present moment, so you're also not trying to get to some destination, you're trying to be very present, and so things like, relationships, if you're trying to have a conversation, a difficult or emotional conversation with somebody that's really important to you, and you're not grounded, you're not available to the information that's being exchanged between the 2 of you, and maybe you've been there where someone's talking to you and all of a sudden you're like, I did not even hear the last 5 sentences that they said, but I know that it was really tender, and I can't just say, "Hey, could you just repeat those 5 sentences again? Because I was spaced out." But so those are some of the things that happen when you're not grounded. You just can't really accomplish what it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, and you can't think clearly. You are definitely not efficient, even from just moving through your tasks of the day. If you're being pulled away, I'll come back to my metaphor of your head being attached to your body by a string, like a balloon hanging out there. Like the wind pushes the balloon over here and pushes the balloon over there. And so you become more a chaser of your whims, your thoughts, your emotions, and almost, this is a strong word, but like a victim to your current emotion, your current thought, whatever's happening, that's dragging you around instead of being rooted and grounded in what you are actually trying to be in that exact moment. And from an efficiency perspective, what you're trying to get done that day.
Absolutely. And, the other thing that I think it's important to talk about is the biology or the physiology, because what we've been talking about, you could sort of say, well, that could be esoteric. Well, okay, so maybe I'm not able to get these tasks done because of a variety of other reasons. Well, what is this grounding thing? But there's actually physiological things going on with the body if you're not grounded. And one of the biggest ones is inflammation, or something that we refer to when we're talking about the body electrically as charge. If you have too much excess charge in the body, that leads to things like inflammation, stiff joints, pain in the body. And just like you have a plug that has that third prong, which is the grounding prong of the plug, that takes excess energy, excess electricity out of whatever appliance it is that you're plugged in, and literally puts it into the ground so that the positive and negative of the electricity can run the thing that you're trying to run, your blender or your skill saw or whatever, and not have them collide, intertwine, or start a fire or blow a fuse. So this is very similar to our physical bodies. If we don't ground and release our excess charge, the things that make us anxious, the things um that cause that inflammation in the body, then we are also at risk of, kind of extend the metaphor a little bit, blowing a fuse or having a meltdown, or all of the things that we see when everybody in the house plugs something in at the same time and flips the switch, and all of a sudden all the lights go off in the house. We are not dissimilar at all from the way electricity works in a house. We are a house of electricity into ourselves. And if we don't have a way to ground our excess energy, we can have some of the same problems and challenges when there's an overload of too much charge on other kinds of electrical currents.
Yes. And for those of you who might not have studied with Lauren or me or someone in our lineage, when Lauren is saying that we are electric, that is not a metaphor. We are actually electric. We have electricity in our body. We measure it with things like EKG. We have electricity. Our heart is our electric generator. We have electricity that we measure in the brain. And so we are being literal when we talk about the electricity and the grounding of our bodies. And we also have poles, just like the earth has a North Pole and a South Pole. Our body, in its biggest, most gross form, the whole physical body has polarity. And then we have little micro polarities around different parts of our body. And so we have this positive and negative charge running at the macro and at the micro all through our body. And we're water. And we know that water conducts electricity. It's a big part of how our physical body and our energy body, same thing, works together. And so I'm being just very crystal clear in that we're not talking in metaphors, we're talking in reality about the grounding of our body and the charge of our body and its interaction with planet Earth as we are moving around on the planet.
I'm so glad that you said that, Blaine, because I think that's a really important concept for people to really grok, is that this is not metaphorical. This is not some yogic idea of get grounded, do some deep breathing, visualize, something that you love. All of those things have their own power, and we'll talk about those very components in episodes to come. But it's really important to understand ourselves physiologically, biologically, and energetically, because those are all intertwined. And I don't know about you, Blaine, but I never learned this stuff in school, in like grade school, grammar school, junior high, high school, these kind of basic foundational principles of how the human body, mind, spirit operates. And it's really important because this is foundational to your health. We talk about a lot in energy medicine yoga and in the energy medicine world about healing and about the possibilities, the seemingly miraculous possibilities of healing that are that we have at our fingertips, literally at our fingertips. Again, I'm not using a metaphor. Your fingers and your hands are tools of healing for the body. And so we really need to understand ourselves energetically because that is the fine substrate from which we all arise. And so if we can really understand ourselves in that very fine area, that very diffuse area, then we can start to resolve things in the physical body as well. And so I circle back to that idea of grounding. Just for a moment, take the if out of it. If you are an electrical being. So you can go ahead and do some more research on your own to decide if you believe that to be true or not. If, but I'm going to say, and Blaine's going to say, you are an electric being. And so being electric, grounding is a primary need for electricity in order for it to be able to conduct upon the pathways that it's sent on and not uh, burn itself up. So, super important. If you want to heal, you need to be grounded. I'm going to just put a period on that one.
The end, right? If you want to bring your body into balance so it can heal, you need to be grounded. And this balance, again, is positive charge, negative charge. That is how we operate. And you can be too grounded. And so it's something that I like to bring up because while one person can be, head exploding, chicken little, running around, whatever you want to call it, someone else can be stagnant, depressed, slow, lethargic, going absolutely nowhere. And so that is where the balance comes in. Balance is truly important when we're talking about our energy because we can be too ungrounded, but we can also be too grounded. And to move forward in life, we need to be able to move forward. And so that is a big part of it. And so if you feel like we're going to show you a technique show for the listeners, we will explain it in words you can understand. If you're viewing on YouTube, you can watch the video. We'll show you some techniques, and we call them grounding techniques, but they're really come into balance techniques because when we use them, we're using positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative to reset or rebalance the system so it is the right amount of grounded. So you're connected to the earth. You can think about a tree and its roots. If a tree doesn't have strong roots, if they're too shallow, if they're not connected, that tree is going to get blown over. If the roots are too deep and they are reaching deeper and farther than where the tree can get nutrition, where there's going to be problems for the tree becomes rigid, the storm comes, the tree snaps in half, it can't be flexible, too grounded. And so it's really easy. The techniques, I think, are mind-blowingly simple. However, balance is what's important.
I love those metaphors that you just shared, Blaine, because I think they really anchor us into that idea because we've been talking, okay, grounded, 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 and now we're saying, but wait, you can be too grounded. And so that idea of balance, which of course is the whole goal of all of this energy work is to bring the body into balance so that the body can do what it does naturally, what it is programmed to do, which is to heal. And so the idea of being too grounded, and you brought up these great examples of being depressed or lethargic. You can think about that as like the switch isn't even turned on, so it's not you're not getting any electricity through the body at all. The switch is off, and I like that idea of the roots too deep. the nutrients aren't even reaching them. They've gone beyond where they can be accessed. And so this idea of turning on the system is really key, and having that grounding so that the electricity, the charge, the energy that's running through the system can do it smoothly and efficiently and not get over expressed in any way through the system. So I love all that, and I think maybe we should turn to showing all of everybody and talking everybody through a couple of really, really simple techniques. And again, I wanna also piggyback on what Blaine said. These techniques are so, so, so simple, but don't swipe them away because you think they're too easy to work. That is the little conundrum right in there. They're really easy and they're really powerful. So just take that. We all have this idea that something's got to be hard in order for it to have value, but this is the opposite of that. You don't have to work so hard and you get a lot of benefits. So, where should we start, Blaine? Which technique do we want to start sharing with?
Let's start with the feet. We'll start with the feet and go up.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. So for the listeners, I'm just gonna bring my foot. I'm seated in a chair right now, so like a figure four. I'm bringing one foot. I'm crossing it over like I'm making a figure four. This is because I'm sitting in a chair, and that is the easiest way for me to access the sole of the foot. So there's no magic in the figure four. Just however you can get one hand to the sole of your foot. And then you're going to bring the palm of the hand to about where the balls of the feet are. You can be wearing shoes. If you can take off your shoes, that's better. But if you can't, it's still going to work. And I'm going to be, it's almost like I'm high-fiving the bottom of my foot. And so I'm going to pull my foot up a little bit here just so it's like in the camera view. So like I'm high-fiving my foot. Lauren is doing that too. And then I'm just flipping my hand, palm of hand, back of hand, palm of hand, back of hand, palm of hand, back of hand. And I'm just doing that a few times. It doesn't even have to be a lot. But when I do this, you can think of the hand as something that has charge, and it has positive charge, negative charge, positive charge, negative charge. And so I'm just bringing, by flipping my hand, palm of hand, back of hand, palm of hand, back of hand, to the sole of my foot, which goes feet down on planet Earth and literally exchanges charge and energy with the planet. I'm making sure my feet are in a good position to receive and give energy. And so I can move forward. And so nothing is getting stuck. Nothing's getting too hot. Nothing, you think of like a hot charge, the mic is too hot. It's like, right? And so it's not too hot. It's not too cold. It just has a nice balanced energy.
So after you've got that grounding piece, now you can turn the electricity on in the body. And so this is for everybody, but especially if you have felt that you have too much grounding, you can't get out of bed, you're depressed or you're sad or all of these things, you just feel lethargic and tired. We're going to do a little technique just to wake your energy up, wake up the electricity in your body. And it's really easy to do. You're going to just come right down to the center of your chest, over your sternum. I'm wearing a necklace that's hanging right over the sternum. And many of you, if you've got a charm, it's going to be hanging right there, right in the center of the chest, over your sternum. And you're just going to take one hand with 3 or 4 fingers or even a fist, and you're going to just start to tap or thump on that area at the very, very center of the chest. And you can breathe here. We mentioned breathing. We'll go into breathing in another episode, but we'll just throw this in right now to breathe in the nose and out the mouth, and just tapping on the center of the chest. And maybe this kind of is reminiscent of Tarzan, and that's exactly what Tarzan and all of the primates are doing. They're waking their energy up. This is a very specific area of the body which holds a lot of really potent points. And so you can stay here in the center, or you can just kind of go a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, all over the upper chest, be tapping and thumping on the body while you continue to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. And you might notice, even after just a couple of moments of doing this, that you feel a surge of energy through the body, because exactly what you're doing right now is flipping that switch of electricity, of energy on in the body. Let's just take one more breath together, in the nose and out the mouth.
And that's it. We've brought our body into balance and grounding. We have turned the switch on. And I think if you just did it with us, that's great. If you weren't able to, for, if you're driving or something, you probably are not doing everything that we say. However, do it later, because our energy benefits. It's like making any habit. Repetition helps a habit stick. And so just try it a few times a day. And it can be if you notice yourself ungrounded, but also if you just remember, oh, I may be grounded, but I'm going to just do it anyway because I want to stay grounded. So there's no right time or wrong time or too much time or too little time. Just start doing it. And the magic is when you really start to notice that you feel grounded more often.
We hope that you've enjoyed our first episode of Energy Works. And if you want to learn more and more tips and tools for understanding what energy is and how energy can work for you, tune in to our next episode, where we're going to take you on a deeper journey of how energy works.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, energy fans, that's a wrap on another positively charged episode of Energy Works. Lauren, this is the part where we get to use our energy puns.
It's been electrifying, hasn't it, Blaine? We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
If you're feeling amped up and you want to keep your energy flowing, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform.
And we'd love to hear from you. So please take a moment to leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to deliver content that resonates. So light up our inbox.
And spark a conversation with your friends to tell them about us. And we'll see you next time on Energy Works.